Here we are with the 5th installment of the Shopping Street by Lego Icons. This is set number 11371. Contains 3,456 pieces, and this set was provided by the Lego Group for early review. Thank you, Lego. Now, I don't know the retail price of this, but it's not a bad build so far, and this is what we have here. So we've done 4 minifigures, and the first floor is mostly complete. I noticed we're missing some stuff, so I think there's a bit more to this. I don't think we're quite done with this yet. But I think today we are going to be starting the second floor. Let's see here, which is this right here. Now, right now the score is at an 8. Basically, we've been finding scratched glass. And I'm going hardcore on it, because that's really just kind of ruining the build experience a bit. And build quality is pretty good. I haven't had anything really fall off, just some small pieces, but not like enough that I would really warrant giving it a low grade. But, well, let's hope there's nothing wrong with this, because I really want to see this one pass. This one's really a nice set. Alright, let's begin. Let's build it, starting with bag 9. And today is the 21st of November 2025. So that's even better. So it looks like today in this installment we're just going to be focusing on the platform that goes up there. So I need to set that thing off to the side, because we are done with it for right now. Because I need more space up here. I'm running out of space as it is. I don't have any more space to put this stuff. And yeah, I'm kind of come here, I'll tell you. I'm kind of hiding from drama, so I'm staying back here. Yeah, somebody was mad because I was working too much, and no, that was not my girlfriend. That was my mother complaining about me working too many hours. I said, hey, I'm off 11 weeks. Well, you had to take time off now? I said, no. I said, it's because nobody wants to do anything any other part of the year. So I just left it at that and moved on. But after Thanksgiving, my girlfriend and I, we are going to be hanging out together for a bit. So that's going to be fun. I can't do anything now because she's finishing up her workload. I'm going to go visit her in-laws and stuff for the holidays. And yeah, not too bad at all. Well, this one didn't have a little bag in it, did it? I can't remember now. I think it did. I don't know. I wasn't paying attention. But hey, you know. Oh yeah, the set does come with the Brick Separator, which is really cool, so you don't have to go rustle one up. This one is provided. Alright, this goes like that. Sorry if my hands get in the way. These are not to be considered or construed as professional product reviews, how-tos, or tutorials. These are just usually my notes for review. But you're more than welcome to join in on the festivities if you have this set or just want to see what's involved here. I may not be able to cover everything, but you know, that's you know, sometimes I make mistakes in these videos, so watch the series all the way through. I cannot emphasize that enough. I swear I'm still blocking people on older videos like that too. It's like they'll cuss me out because I didn't do something right, and then they complain that they. Yeah, I'm like, sorry. No, I can't do these error-free. I just build like everybody else does, you know. I mean, it's okay to make mistakes, and if you get this set, make a mistake. You know, hey, you know, just, you know, when you're done, no one's gonna know, right? Because you can correct it. It's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to make boo-boos in these. Okay, wait a minute. That doesn't go there. It looks like it did, but no, it's a tile. But I mean, I've been pretty pleased with the set, with the quality of it. It's, except for those chairs in the last installment, they were falling apart. But I think the one thing that's kind of been a bummer is the scratch parts, you know, that kind of thing have been just kind of a killer on this one here. Well, now we know what to do with all these wing pieces. sure we have 6 studs there, and we do. Yeah, I may sound whiny and stuff today. My nose is still stuffed up. We just got done with over 2 inches of rain in the last couple of days. And my flower beds are all just literally just, they still have standing water in them a few days later. Like it just hasn't rained down. So I don't need to water anything for a while out here. That's always a nice thing. I can save water. And where I'm at, they say there's not a drought right now. But, well, I got to thinking though, I need to hook up some kind of like, I got some old like those old barrels, plastic barrels. I was thinking about hooking that up to the rain gutter on my house and just use that to store water for the garden and stuff. And then just have it slowly drip in there like a drip system, but for that. And then just use that for when it's not raining. I have to think on that. I was mentioning about that to my bunch, and that kind of started up some stuff, and I just thought, yeah, it'll give me something to do. Okay, it looks like we're good so far. Yeah, but I'm always glad, though, I can sit here and talk to you guys and gals, and we can do build-togethers and stuff, and enjoy the holidays. And Janet, I remember you asked me a question, have I ever proposed to my girlfriend? Her and I have talked about it, but we both agreed we're not ready yet, so, you know, we've seen each other for a long time, but we just, that's just a lot of thinking there. Probably why we've been together for about 13 years. Maybe that's the trick, is not getting married. Alright, so I haven't really worked on any tutorials today. I need to get going on some ideas. I got some that I want to tinker with. I got another idea a friend of mine mentioned that I should do for Christmas. Oh, and by the way, I think I have the link in the description. I got to check. You're more than welcome to join our Discord server, and you could join in on the festivities there too. So, everybody's welcome to join. It's free. You don't have to pay. You don't have to be a Patreon supporter or anything like that. You can just feel free to join in on us anytime and join the chat. Okay. Looks like we're building more of the platform here. I'm going to try to index this quick. Like, I don't know. It looks like this part goes above the music shop. Yeah, what am I going to do for the holidays? I don't know yet. I got to do some stuff around the house, but I'm trying to avoid doing chores because I'm sick of doing chores. I hate when the holidays come around because everybody now expects me to hang up tons of Christmas lights. I have to drag everything out, and I'm just, you know, I mean, that was one of the things about being a bachelor. You can just kind of not care too much. Now things have changed. I did get a comment, though. Somebody had asked me about, they missed my big giant house builds. Why don't I do more of them? Because I have a life off of YouTube now. So it's not like I'm a single guy anymore doing this stuff. I do it now just to get away from drama. But it's fun to do this because I don't have to stare at a computer at least. Alright, so we got that done there. Now we got to work here. Yeah, I mean, I'm not, like I said, this set here is not that bad at all. You know what I'm doing? I'm jumping steps here. Okay, I'm not supposed to do that. Alright, so let me flip this back over here. And so that's what I'm saying. Sometimes I just kind of, it's the dyslexia in me, and I don't know. Well, it looks just like the picture. I didn't mess up. That's good, right? Alright. Yeah, I've been filling up memory cards like crazy. I need to really work on cleaning cards up today. So my goal is to... We need a 3-stud long one with one in the middle here. My goal is today is to get done with build installments 5 and 6. I've just started editing part 1 of this. I won't know what day they're going to be uploaded because I just don't know yet. So I don't. I'm being honest, I don't know. Okay, so this goes right here. We're going to slip that in. Oh, wow, look at that. Except for that little hole there. That's why they stuck that tile there. That's pretty. That's a nice, good floor for what that is. Very nice. Very nice indeed. Okay, now it looks like we're building some of the wall here. This is one thing I like to see is bricks, big bricks, because this is the type of building stuff I grew up with. And you know what I forgot to do again? I'm skipping steps. Whoops, my bad. I'm not paying attention. There was a big old fight earlier today that I'm just trying to cool off from. So I just stay away from it all. No, it's not between me and my girlfriend either. We rarely ever have disagreements. Of course, we're completely opposite too. Some have asked me, does she do Lego? No, she doesn't. But she's an artist. Is that a round tile? Oh, it's a half round. I think it goes on like that, but I don't know how critical that is. And then it goes right here. Okay, I think we got that squared away. You know, I bet you this is going to be the part where the stairs are. I don't know what that's for, but the stair landing came here. Maybe I shouldn't worry about that now, huh? I'm just jumping around here. I did read a comment, though, from one of you guys and gals. You wish that your dad would do this stuff with you. Wish my dad did this stuff with me, too. Couldn't get him into Lego, and he's no longer with us, so it's going to be kind of impossible now. But, you know, that kind of thing. Oh, that comes in dark red. That's nice. All right. So these round plates, they really do come in handy when you want to make those tight corners too. Alrighty. The other day I was watching one of the older Scooby-Doo cartoons. Well, maybe not so old. This one had Scrappy-Doo, which I just don't like too much. But I was sitting there just on the couch with my iPad just watching these old cartoons. And I'm just like, man, I miss these days. Yeah, I miss the days of that. You know, just getting lazy. It's like, oh, I can't wait till I retire. But that's not going to be for a while. But that's like, oh. My stomach is growling and I've just ate. I need to have that checked out. Wait. Uh-oh, that's not supposed to go there. Some kind of a weird carpet here. Now this could be an apartment, I don't know, or it could be an upper floor of a shop. There's some antique shops in town that there's like 2 or 3 stories you got to climb upstairs to get to see the goods and stuff. So that's always kind of cool. I haven't really been to an antique shop in a while. I need to go in there and scrounge around after Christmas. Usually people clean out all their stuff in their houses and kind of thinking about. That'd be kind of cool to go see if I could find some more old vintage furniture and electronics that I could stash away to restore. It'd be really cool. Okay, that just sits over that hole there. Okay. Yeah, this is not Lego that I grew up with when I was a kid. Yeah, I notice I'm getting more A-falls on these videos. My channel is not really meant for kids. I keep it family friendly though, but I don't cuss up a storm and stuff. There's no need for that on here. Okay, this is right lined up with this right here. I think that's it. That could be a fireplace with a rug around it. Don't know yet. Except I forgot to put that piece in there. There, now I did. And then we put this here, and we got some tiles here. You know, like I said, though, I like doing this stuff with you guys and gals and get to talk to you and all that stuff. And I think that wraps up bag 9 with just a handful of pieces remaining. I may let you guys and gals out early today. We'll see. Alright, now we're moving on to bag 10. And while I'm unpacking this, I want to thank everyone on my main channel and Patreon for being contributors. It's always a big help. I'm much appreciative. Thank you to everyone who takes the time to check out my Rebrickable profile and purchase building guides. If there's something you see on my channel that I don't have a guide for, you're just not sure, ask. And I'll see if I can fulfill that request. But I am right now, if it's something I haven't written up in the past, then yeah, it's going to take a while. The big houses and stuff will take some time. That kind of thing. And in addition to taking the time to subscribe, comment, like the video, share. YouTube's got a new feature now that lets you users promote videos. I don't know. I can't remember the name. Boost or something like that you use. And I think it's free for everybody to use. Should be. And it does is it helps videos push up higher in ranks. So maybe if that's on here, feel free to do that too. You know, there's always ways to contribute. You know, there's always a way. I have 20 million different ways on here. So it looks like we're building the other half of the floor. It goes on the other side of that. I'm not too quite sure. So that's what these rounded plates are for. Yeah, you're going to have to muscle those together. Do that and pound it in. I wouldn't recommend that at all. Why did I do that? I don't know. Yeah, my allergies have just been flaring up. Been coughing up a storm. Asthma's been flaring up. And I think my mom's got COVID, which means I'll be getting it during the holidays. Isn't that fun? She was around somebody that actively had it, and I try to tell her, just don't do that. And you know how older people are, they don't listen. And for me, I think that goes like that. Yeah, it does. All right. And I don't want to get sick during the holidays. And I'm just like, please don't. No. Then they get mad because I'm too sick to do anything. Okay, we use it going like that. Well, that's if I can get that in there like that. Try not to rant in these too much. I'm trying to keep it toned down a little bit here. Yeah, we don't have a lot to do. This is just, today is just base. What really takes a long time to really build stuff like this is the small parts. They just take forever to get done here. There's just a lot of little pieces with this set to put together. I did get a comment though, another one, mentioning about how slow I build. You know, I mean, it's like I may have to write that in my description. If you're looking for speed builds, you may want to venture somewhere else because we don't do them here. I don't do them. And I've been getting more comments. People like these let's build things. So we're going to keep doing them like this. Not a lot of people spend the time and show the behind the scenes stuff. And I want to give you a raw experience here. Okay. Yeah, we got a lot of little parts we haven't put together yet. We got a lot of things going on here on the workbench today. There's just so many things going on. Okay. Yeah, I like these bags when they don't have a lot of parts. I think probably half the parts were in the beginning of the book. But I'm going to try to just do 2 bags. I don't know where this one ends, though. Does it end even? Do we have an odd number? I'll take a look here and we'll see here. Okay, it looks like the picture so far. I haven't messed up. Yay! Usually I mess up right now, but no, I have not. That is even better because I don't have to mess everybody else up. That's why I said don't consider these as a tutorial, because you know, I can make mistakes from time to time, not by on purpose, but yeah. Boy, last night I slept good. I had probably 7.5 hours of sleep. Very rare. Very rare. Going to wake up to get drama today, but hey, I slept good. All right. Alrighty, so that piece now goes on to here, like, let me look here. Okay, so it goes on here. Okay, I'm not sure why this was sitting here. Unless you're supposed to put it like this and then hinge it in, which would make more sense. So I think that's how it's supposed to go. That wants you to pick that up carefully and flip it over. Okay, I see. We got to put a hinge down here. These, I never really used hinges for anything, but they could be useful for things like this. And then we have all that locked together. That doesn't look too pretty down there, does it? But another nice floor deck here that we can use to build things on. This will give you some ideas on making platforms for builds that are kind of odd shaped. But yeah, I cannot wait to play with this one. This is going to be fun. Like I mentioned in a few of the videos, if I had kids, I'd be like, here, have at it. You want to take it apart? Go right ahead. You know, it's Lego. We could rebuild it. Alrighty. Put that hinge there. That should keep this down here pretty firm. Yeah, sand yellow is a color I'm always looking for making campgrounds, terrain. That kind of color. So that is a color that I hoard up like no other. I hoard that stuff. Alright, we got to stack these two here. Step 250's got a bunch of parts. We're not even halfway done with the build yet, so if you're just thinking, oh Jay, I need something faster, this is not it. Okay, I thought there was a 1x2 that goes here, It's a set of 1x1s. I think Lego purposely fluffed this one up. It's like, wow, I'm getting a whole bunch of parts. Either they're trying to save part lots, but still, I mean, it actually costs more than just getting 2 of these than just one bigger piece. They could have saved money on this too. Probably just trying to keep the part lots down. Okay, now we're going to join these 2 pieces together, and I think they go like that. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and push that down in there. I'm really going to have to force that down in there because it goes like that. Yeah. Not too bad at all, huh? We still got some parts on the workbench, so we're not quite done yet with this. Trying not to wheeze here. I'm starting to wheeze a little bit. And then this goofy little piece goes right in there. Locks that corner in really good. Okay, then we have 5 of these, which is what it is. Wow, we don't even have any parts remaining. Well, we used all that up. And then these go right here. Well, I'm going to let you guys and gals out early today. Make sure that's going in the right place. Yeah, not too bad at all. Now I could probably squeeze another bag in here. Let's see here. How does this end? Let's take a look here. That's pretty much what it is. Okay, we're going to go further in the book here. The reason why I'm doing this now is to see what bag it ends in. Yeah, because we're ending in bag 15. We just finished bag 10 up. What does bag 11 involve? So we're just doing the walls. I think we may just stop here. Okay. I'm just thinking here. Yeah, let's go ahead and stop here because I got to edit some videos. Summation of thoughts. And so far, pretty good. Nothing fell apart. We're still at an 8. And that's the base that we have done so far. Now, I've noticed there's been an issue with the iPhone. It's not taking pictures of some of my thumbnails, or the files are getting corrupted. So I may have to grab some screenshots from the video. So now I'm just going to take a picture of this, put it on the computer, make sure it's there, because I got to start making thumbnails for these. Because I really want to get going on, once I'm allowed to publish this video installment series, because I'm right now under a contract. I cannot even talk about this until these are published, until Lego gives me permission. So right now I've already got 5 videos that I can't do anything with. So they're just sitting on a hard drive right now. But once there are, I think this is going to be a good video installment series to take a look. And yeah, I mean, not bad at all. I mean, it's ugly looking on the bottom, but I mean, really just going to see that. You're going to be putting this on the table playing with it like this. And tell me what you think so far of the shopping street.